Hi, this is Group 15, and the topic for our presentation is stem cell therapy to treat heart failure. So, in this presentation, we'll be going through what heart failure is and its statistics, what stem cells are and its classification, the uses of stem cells in medicine, investigation of different methods to treat heart failure, and the clinical trials, the implications such as economical, ethical, and social, and the future possibilities. So what heart failure is? Heart failure occurs when the heart cannot pump enough blood and oxygen around the body as effectively as it should to support the organs in the body. However, it doesn't mean that the heart stop beating. Around 650,000 people in the UK are on the GP's heart failure register, and estimated 920,000 people are living with heart failure in the UK. 65,000 people of heart failure are diagnosed each year in the UK. At least 15 million people across Europe and 900,000 people are in the UK have a heart failure. So here's a picture of a normal and a congestive heart. So in a congestive heart, thickening of the ventricular chambers and smaller filling capacity and ejection of blood, so the heart muscle doesn't provide enough oxygen and blood to support the organs. So what stem cells are? Stem cells are specific cells that can conserve themselves through self-renewal and differentiate to produce mature cells of a particular tissue. The two main types of stem cell, embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. In embryonic stem cell, after fertilization of the human egg, the embryo contains an inner cell mass that is capable of generating all those specialized tissues. They are derived from egg fertilized in vitro. Here's a diagram of embryonic stem cell. So our body produces specialized cells such as red blood cell. How they carry oxygen around the body. However, they're unable to divide. So stem cell provide cells for the body and replace specialized cells that are damaged or lost. So they can grow over and over again to produce new cells. Adult stem cells, which are also known as somatic stem cells, found within specific differentiated tissue that can renew themselves or generate new cells that can replenish dead or damaged tissues. They have the potential to treat a variety of degenerative diseases, so including skin stem cells, microbial stem cell, hemostatic stem cells.
Have a huge potential. They can be used for therapeutic screening, for disease modeling, and for cell-based therapy, including the cardiac regeneration, as shown by the image on the right. So we are focusing on pluripotent stem cells that basically are cells that can generate all tissues. The study of these cells made us understand better how human embryos grow and gave us the possibility to develop and test new drugs that are highly specific, effective, and safe because they are based on the patient cell. Then we can also produce disease models, and it also opens new horizons in the regenerative medicine field. So we can use cells that are grown outside the body and then transplanted surgically in the body. So there are different kinds of cells that can be used for the heart failure therapy. These include the embryonic stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells, also the cells that we can find in the bone marrow, so the hematopoietic stem cells, and then the skeletal myoblasts. We can also use the cardiac stem cells. So, how to grow cells in the lab? This process is called cell culture and is possible thanks to a culture medium which has all the nutrients for the cell to grow. Our goal is to make undifferentiated mesenchymal stem cells and hematopoietic stem cells that we can find in the bone marrow into cardiac stem cells. To do this, the process is called transdifferentiation or direct reprogramming, and it is described in a protocol. We can think about this protocol as a recipe. And the ingredients in this recipe are the reprogramming factors and the signaling molecules that will be delivered from the viral vectors into the cell.
So mesenchymal stem cells can also be used for heart failure therapy, as said before. Their mesenchymal stem cells have to be undifferentiated and a very small portion of the bone marrow stem cells. They have to be separated using density gradient centrifugation and in small amounts, as shown in the diagram over here in the mononuclear cells. They are multipotent stem cells, which means that they can differentiate, as said before, into cardiomyocytes specifically, which are in the heart walls and can regenerate and repair the heart walls. By using something called the paracrine effects, which inhibit apoptosis, cell death of cells that are not needed anymore and are just not working. Fibrosis, which is the healing of the myocardium in the wall. As seen in the diagram in the bottom left over here, the serum is prepared. The serum prepared is here, and the mononuclear cells are extracted from the serum. The culture is cultured for 3 weeks and then instantly transplanted into the heart for the paracrine effects to take. Skeletal myoblasts can also be used for heart failure therapy. Skeletal myoblasts are actually the first type of stem cells to ever be tested in a clinical trial. And they were originally served to repair skeletal muscles and remain dormant, meaning they were inactive until there was damage. The heart always had low regenerative abilities as the number of cardiomyocytes decreased over time in the myocardium. Uh, the, it was suggested that the regenerative ability of the skeletal myoblasts could be used in the heart. And it was found that the skeletal myoblasts could mobilize themselves, activate themselves, proliferate and multiply, then they differentiate into the myocardium they can differentiate into the cardiomyocytes in the myocardium and fuse to form new heart walls and repair the heart.
So now I'm going to talk about the clinical trials regarding the previous methods just spoken about for heart failure. So most clinical trials have been done on animals like rodents such as rats. A clinical trial done in 2003 had 21 patients, 7 of which were control, that underwent bone marrow injections in the myocardium. There was a significant improvement in the heart ejections fraction in 2 months and 4 months. The conclusion on the clinical trial suggests that the BMC was relatively safe and how it can help improve the blood flow. In the clinical trials on humans, as autologous skeletal myoblast transplantation for the left ventricle of the heart on 97 patients, the results showed that after 16 days, there was an improvement in the systole rate of the heart in 63% of the patients. Now onto the economical, ethical, and social implications of stem cells for heart failure. So the pros of bone marrow stem cells include being easily harvested, so no embryonic stem cells are wasted, so no potential of life is put at risk, and is extracted easily from accessible sources such as the blood. Low risk of tumorigenesis, unlike embryonic stem cells, and safe for patients with heart problems and rapidly produced in vitro, so more stem cells are produced for treating heart disease. However, the cons are there are limited differentiation potential, and there is not much known about phenotypes of MSCs and HSCs. There are also inconsistent results from clinical trials. The pros of skeletal myoblasts is that they are extracted from autologous muscle biopsies, which is easy to harvest. And in vitro production, they are very quick and economically viable, but could decrease over time because of the high demand. In the heart, they are very resistant to ischemic contraction, which lowers the risk of heart attack and improves the heart function. However, the con is that it does not transdifferentiate into cardiomyocytes. Therefore, therapy is not as effective and there are unwanted symptoms.
We'll be talking about future possibilities. There are countless future possibilities for stem cell therapy for treatment of heart failure. Stem cell therapy is already an option for patients with advanced heart failure. However, the research is still being developed and advanced to improve stem cell therapy for patients. In the future, stem cell therapy can help significantly decrease the number of deaths caused by heart failure, which is one of the highest causes of death. Stem cell therapy in the future can be more personalized, which will cater to each patient's specific needs. Also, in the future, efficiency of stem cell production can increase, which will which will help with more research and testing of heart failure. In conclusion, heart failure is a very complex disease that affects majority of the world, and stem cell therapy is a possible technique that can be used to solve this problem. NFCs and skeletal myoblasts have potential to treat diseases such as heart failure. There are a variety of stem cells that have various uses that can be researched. The use of stem cell is a very new technique that has been used on heart failure, but according to the clinical trials, it's worked. It's worked well for a new technique. The trial showed 21 patients using a BMC injection showed an increase in the heart performance. The myoblasts trial showed improvement in heart function after 2 and 4 months. Overall, a promising technique that can be used on heart failure.